And the thing that this person did that was so interesting in the whole process was they asked me a question. It was like, Rashonda, did you get a phone call or text message? I'm like, no, ma'am. I got no phone call and no text message. But why are you asking me this question? I was directly saying, I know you. I know you when I see you. You asking me this question for a reason and a purpose. Why are you asking me this question? And finally, she was like, you can go home, Rashonda. She's like, you can go home. The client had done canceled for today, and you telling me that nobody from the office called you, sent you a text message, sent you a message in the app that we have that we supposed to use to communicate with. Nobody did anything. They sent a no bird, no letter. They didn't set no nothing on fire. They didn't try to send you no smoke signal. Nobody let you know that you didn't have to burn the little bit of gas that you had to get all the way here, where we already barely paying you. And even every single time we have a mistake, except maybe once or twice, we never fix it. But you can go ahead on home. Now, she didn't say all that, but that was basically what her energy was saying. So I said, okay, thank you. Have a blessed day. And I went on about my business. So I went to go pick up my husband, all this and that. And he's shocked, of course, because he's like, you don't come pick me up to go home this fast. So it's okay. I'm going to just flow with it. So he gets in the car. We end up going. I end up asking him what he like to know. By the time we get to the end of the road, what happened? He's like, what happened? So I tell him. And he's like, okay, all right, cool. he's just that person. It's like he'll pray about a situation, give it to God, and keep on moving. As long as it's not something that's directly affecting him in the moment, he's just like, all right, it is what it is. So we end up getting home. Now, the interesting part is 1 week before this, one thing I haven't mentioned to you is when this same situation had happened to me from the same client 1 week before that, God had been placing on my heart where I had filled out applications at three different places. No, two different places. I had filled out an application at two different places. And neither one of those had worked. Now the interesting thing about me, and this is part of the practice too, is I don't let my life, when I am completely dedicating my life to God, I have given him full control. I have let go of my free will and I have given it over to him, and that's part of the practice, giving it over to him completely. When I've done it, I make it abundantly clear that I don't want no mess. All I want is the best that he has for me. So if he knows if I'm gonna go into this job and I'm gonna go through HEL and high water and there's no reason and no purpose for me to even be working there, then I don't even want him to open the door for me to go there. If it's not gonna be peace, ease, flow, joy, and glory, then I don't want to be there. And I'm gonna tell you what was interesting about both these two jobs I filled out an application for. The first one I filled out an application for, it was completely unprofessional. I have been in professional environments. I have been doing this job professionally for over a year. Oh, going really, it's over a year. For 2 years, I've been professionally. I've done it under the table before, and I've done it for family for over 19 years or more of my life. I have done it. But on paper, check, direct deposits, taxes coming out, I've done that for 2 years. Now, the first company I ever worked for, that company, it was professional getting me in there. The branches were professional and unprofessional, professional and unprofessional. I got a little taste of both. But at least the onboarding process, it was professional. I came in, filled out my application. One, because I didn't have my certificate yet, I had to take a class. It was a 7-day class. I passed the test. I got my certification. I got my badge. I got a bag and some little goodies in there. They gave me my gloves I was supposed to have. And they set me up with the app. So all I had to do was clock in, choose which clients I wanted, if there were any available in the area, in the vicinity that I could take. And that was vibrationally compatible to me and what it is that I have to offer. That was it, right? Okay. So then when I stayed with that same branch and I moved from Portsmouth, which is where I started, to Virginia Beach and Norfolk, which is where I went to next, to Newport News, was where I went to next, and then came to Franklin, which is where I ended up being. When I got to Franklin, I got one client only, and I kept that client for a whole year and 4 months. I always did my job, was always professional. They didn't have no problems out of me unless I had a medical issues or I had doctor's appointments, which is still part of medical issues. But for the most part, it was completely professional. The onboarding process, working there, getting my pay, all of that. Okay. So then I was guided to go to another company, I want to say about 4 months ago. I knew instantaneously from the first text messages that I got that was not going to be a place that I was meant to be. Now, under different circumstances, different versions of myself, I would have put up with it. I would have dealt with it. I would have gone through it. Like I said, I use my baby and I use her well. And with me staying so sensitive and being as directly connected to God as I am, it's like, the text messages told me it wanted. When I showed up to the office, it told me it wanted. When they tried to send me out to a client and they still hadn't even done the onboarding, talked about pay, you know, let me know what you're going to be offering, tell me you're going to be giving me gloves, I got to get my own, but you trying to send me somewhere, and you getting a nasty attitude, making it seem like you super desperate and only trying to send me people or to somebody, excuse me, that obviously nobody else wants. I went on to shut that noise down very quickly. Well, let's just say the same thing ended up happening again when I went to this first place. I sat down, filled out my application, got told they were not hiring, got asked about doing something that I knew again was not vibrationally compatible to what I have and what I have to offer. I got that question. That's it. Then I kept consistently being asked, have I heard from anything? Boom, boom, boom. It was like, it's enough. Then it just kept popping up over and over again. I'm like, in the middle of it all I'm simply saying is, God, if this is for me, the door opening. If this is not for me, keep the door closed. And that's exactly what he did. Well, that same day, I went right over next door to yet another opportunity. Same situation though. I went in, filled out my application, and right in the middle of it all, somebody else came in to not necessarily put in the application. They came in just to go ahead on and talk straight up with the owner, with one of the owners. And in the middle of the conversation that they was having, because I was in one room filling out an application, the door was wide open and the other person was there basically coming in saying, look, I got my own person, got my own people, boom, boom, boom. I want to know what you're paying. I want to know what you offer. I'm bringing this person will have this many hours. So I'm sitting here listening to this person, and the answers that they are getting is off the charts for me. It's off the charts for me because I'm coming in with a personal care aid certificate. That's it. That's all. This person is coming in with a CNA license. And you already telling me you basically gonna rob this person financially. You gonna steal this person's client. And they can't really expect much from you except for you just gonna be willing to take their client and take all their money. And I'm sitting here filling out this application. And this person has more authority than I do. So I'm already thinking and doing the math in my own head. Like, no. Like, this is definitely a no. But I did finish doing my application, put it in, and I did give it to the person. They asked me some questions. I answered. They asked me what I had to offer. I let them know. And they let me know that they didn't have anything available anyway. But if they did, they were going to reach out to me to do a proper onboarding. And then we could go from there. And I'm like, okay, same situation though. I'm going to God. God is my source. That's why I keep consistently telling y'all that God is your source. God is your plan A.